You slapping your knee? Slapping your knee?
Is that what old people do? We slap our knee when things are funny? There's something that happens when you cross over to 40 that
I don't know.
You just become your parents. I just think it's funny because I think as we get older, the things that we used to get on our parents about, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think it's happening. Mm-hmm. I think I've officially crossed over. I had to walk 5 miles and 15 feet of snow to school. You ever hear that joke?
I think...
Well, old people talk about, y'all don't know how hard it was when we grew up. We didn't even have internet. We didn't even have smartphones. Nah, I sound real old.
I just want to go back to how it used to be.
How did it used to be?
We used to play together. To spend time with them and act like you actually know them.
Because you're a human too. I think that's really, really, really important. That's really good advice. There's something that Marianne Williamson says, and she's kind of like a spiritual leader, and she talks about you're not doing anyone any favors by dimming your light. If you can't be yourself at home, then we have to really make some shifts. You stay who you are. Who you are is more than enough. It's exactly what this world needs. And when you start changing yourself, then the world's going to miss out on your dopeness.
Welcome to Living in 3D Power. Discover your truth, discern your path, determine your power. I'm Dr. Amber Sessoms, and together, let's unlock our power, build authentic connections, and foster collective liberation. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Living in 3D Power. And today, before we dive into this episode, I just want to take a moment to ground us because this one is tender. Earlier today, Emma came to me in tears and said something that cracked my heart wide open. Maya doesn't love me. And as the youngest of 3 girls, Emma often feels left out. She feels stuck in the middle in the space between childhood wonder and wanting to connect with her older sisters who are growing into new stages of life, 15 and 22. And as her mom, I also carry a layered story. I was an only child in my household, but I'm also the eldest daughter across 5 siblings in 3 different households. And if you know, you know. My little sister, she recently sent me a TikTok of a woman saying that the oldest daughter deserves a hug or she needs a hug. And because of the mother and daughter dynamic, I really relate to that. And if you know the part of my story, this really hits home. And the oldest daughter carries the brunt of so much heartache and pain, often if a mother hasn't worked through some of these things on her own. The emotional labor, the unmet expectations, and the silence. So today's episode is more of a conversation between mother and daughter, and it's also an invitation for us to reflect on family roles, birth order, belonging, and the ache of wanting to be seen. So whether you're the baby, the backbone, the middle child, the bridge between generations, this is for you.
It's me, it's me, it's me. It's me, it's me, it's me. Hey, it's me, Emma. Welcome back to Living in 3D Power, and today we're going to be talking about being the youngest child.
And why is this the topic for today, Emma?
Because earlier in the day, I got upset.
Why'd you get upset?
Because my sister Maya was not including and not listening to me.
She wasn't listening to you? What was happening? Because I was in my office and I heard all this commotion.
So basically, Maya downloaded this new game, and I was trying to tell her how to do something, but she wouldn't listen to me.
I heard you saying something like, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. You're not listening to me. And you sounded very, very frustrated. So what was Maya doing when you were trying to?
She was pulling the controller away.
And that got you really frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
So let's think about this. So you got upset earlier today. You're the youngest sibling. Maya is going to be 16 in about 2 months. Jojo's going to be 22 in a few days. And you're 10. So that age gap, so about every kid, Daddy and I have like a 6-year age gap. And honestly, like I think it makes it really challenging for parents, but it also makes it really challenging for kids. And I was telling you earlier, thinking about Graham and Aunt Gag, I think they're about maybe like a 20, at least a 20-year difference, I want to say, in age. But Graham was, grown then and out of the house. But thinking about that age difference, but I look at them now and they're the best of friends. So it makes me hopeful that when y'all get on the other side of this sibling nonsense, that y'all can be the best of friends. Yeah. And I see little glimpses of it. Like earlier today, y'all were laughing and having a good time. The last couple of days I've been seeing y'all hang out and laughing together, which isn't typically common, right? So it makes me really happy as your mama to see y'all two getting along. And then it just all of a sudden it changed. Mm-hmm. And that's because you were trying to tell her that you know something.
Yeah, but she won't listen to me.
And what did that make you feel like in your body?
It made me feel like tense, like my body squeezed.
Your whole body or just parts of your body?
Like my arms.
Your arms, like your forearms? Mm-hmm. Were you clenching your fist?
No, I was just like this.
So clenching them a little bit. Yeah. So that's what happens sometimes when we have negative emotions or we're afraid or frustrated, we will not even knowingly tense part of our body. So for you to be like, my body felt like it was being squeezed is really helpful to know. So when I'm stressed out, when I'm frustrated, when I'm feeling like I'm unheard, I notice that this part of my body gets tense. Does any other part of your body get tense?
My knees.
Your knees? Your knees got tense? I've never experienced that before. Well, I'm on the other side of it where my knees hurt.
Like this. Like my knees and like lower.
Your shins and your knees? So like maybe were you clenching your feet maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, so is that what happens when you get frustrated? You clench your hands and your feet?
Yeah.
And that because all of those tendons and ligaments and muscles are connected, you'll experience it in other parts of your body. Ah, okay. Because I was like, how are your knees feeling it? That makes sense. So then that's a sign for you then in your body. Be like, oh, something's going on. I'm tense. And then what do you do to kind of release that?
I don't know.
Nothing? You just like, you go through the emotion and then it just kind of goes away on its own?
Yeah.
Have you ever recognized that before me ever asking you that question where you feel tense?
Maybe.
Okay. So that's something now to keep in mind though. What I usually get, I'll have my shoulders really up high. And so I'll remind myself to relax my shoulders. And I'll have my tongue to the roof of my mouth. So I'll have to remind myself.
That too.
Yeah. So it's a helpful thing to remind yourself to lower your tongue. So when you're stressed, a lot of times people keep their tongue close to the roof of their mouth, so relaxing your tongue. And then I told you before, I get that hamster wheel on my chest. Mm-hmm. So that's how I know those are my signs of being stressed. So those could be your signs of being frustrated or stressed, that you're feeling it here and here, but it's really because you're tensing up your body. So if you learn how to just be like, okay, let me relax it. But actually, that's a really good strategy people use in mindfulness and getting present with their body. Will have you tense up your body and then relax that part of your body and tense it up and relax. So hold it for a couple counts and then release it. And that helps you get into your body and know the signals for your body. So that's something that you could practice. So tell me though, because I have such a unique experience to you growing up, because I have siblings, obviously. You know, Jamal and Avery were here yesterday, and then have Uncle Blake, and then your Aunt Sydney, who you haven't met, who's in Florida. So she is, oh my gosh, Sydney, how old are you? Sydney's like 25. So that's my mom's side. So she has the two girls, and then my dad has the boys and myself. But I grew up with Grandma and Pop. So I was really an only child. And I have a friend that talks about being an only child, because at the time we were the only ones in the household, but I do have siblings. So I pretty much grew up as an only child. So I don't know this experience of having this interactions with your siblings every day. So it's very unique for me to see this growing up in the household. I mean, sometimes Blake and I might have had a bickering thing, but we weren't around each other every day. So how is that for you every day interacting with your sisters? Y'all, if you can't see, she's putting her head down and she's shaking her head.
Basically, it's like being told what to do and like not being listened to.
Ooh. So being told what to do and not being listened to. And one of your biggest things when I asked you about leadership was what?
Listening.
So you have someone, it sounds like that's trying to lead you, but that's not listening to you. So not really being a great leader.
Yeah.
And they also happen to be your sisters. So that has to be really hard. And I think I heard you earlier say something like, "You're not my mommy." Did you say that? Or you're like,
I
"You're
said
not."
you're not my mom.
Oh, I did hear you say that. Why were you saying that to Maya?
Because Maya was like, stop, I know what to do, and I was like, you're not my mom.
Oh, so that would be frustrating. So you have these older siblings who are trying to act like me, and you're like,
Especially JoJo.
"Oh, what does JoJo do?" She said,
says-
especially JoJo, y'all, if y'all couldn't hear her whisper.
Says I can't drink in the living room or eat a snack in the living room.
And what do you say when she says that?
I say fine.
So you don't like that she's bossing you around. And why does she tell you not to eat or drink in the living room?
Because I'm messy.
So she has a point, but also, can she really talk about being messy? Emma shaking her head no. Right. So that is interesting that she's sitting here trying to tell you when she got some work to do herself, right? Mm-hmm. But I noticed something though. When JoJo tells you something, you're more likely to listen than when Maya tells you. Why is that?
Maya's the cooler sibling.
Maya's the cooler sibling?
Yeah, she's not scary.
Wait, so JoJo's scary?
She's like,
Oh, the look she gives you? Mm-hmm. She's mastered the look. So because JoJo can give you the look and she's scary, you're like, let me just listen to her. Are you afraid what will happen if you don't?
and
Have you ever not listened to her?
one time
And what happened?
she yelled at me.
And that was enough for you, right? Mm-hmm. You don't like that. Mm-mm. But Maya's the cooler sister. Talk more about that.
Maya, I can deal with, but sometimes she can be annoying.
Oh, please tell me more. How can she be annoying?
Lately she's been saying bro.
Since yesterday.
Yeah, she's like, bro,
I don't know
stop."
where that's coming
I'm
from.
like, can you please stop?
Students have been saying that. And they never, well, I was out of the schools, I think 2021. I don't know when the bro thing started, but I'm not a fan. But then someone, like my colleagues will say, if the kids are calling you bro, it means you're cool. But I've never been like, I feel like I'm the old school millennial where I'm like, the kids would try to call me, what would they call me? They would call me like Sesums, just my last name. And I just don't. I don't like that. It's just not my thing. Like they wouldn't say Dr. Sesums. They would just say Sesums. And I was like, no, I'm not even going to respond to you unless you address me appropriately. And I get that it's a sign of, oh, we're cool. But I think because I'm an older generation, I was raised by grandma and pop, you would never not call someone by their title or, give them that respect. So bro is an endearing term apparently to kids. When they call you that, it means you're cool. Your friends don't say bro? Because you had a moment, I think it was last year, everything was bro.
Bro. Bro means, it's short for like brother. So like when you're saying bro, you mean like friend or like bro, like that's crazy. Like you're saying like dude or like friend or like in this case mine's like sister.
Yeah.
Sister, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
That makes sense because we probably said dude. So it's funny that you're saying that because I bet Graham was probably rolling her eyes at me when I was saying certain phrases like that. Like, what are y'all talking about, dude? And you're like, bro. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's not even, y'all don't even say bro.
They're just like,
No, y'all say brah, brah.
bro.
I can't even say it right.
Bruh.
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 Yo, if y'all have kids, teenagers, or whatever, please let us know in the comments. Is this what's happening in your households? Because I cannot.
Girly pops.
What?
Girly pops.
Curly pops?
No, girly pops.
What are girly pops? Why Emma gets herself together because I don't know what she's talking about.
Girly pops. We used to say that in second grade.
In second grade?
Yeah,
I've
girly.
never heard you say girly pops.
I don't say it because it's awkward. Girly pops is like, it's like a girlfriend.
Girly pops. So can you use it in a sentence?
Yeah. Hi, girly pops. How are you?
It's definitely a generational thing because I'm telling you, we probably had all types of sayings. And I just had my reunion. So I graduated high school in 99. And I think we missed whatever year it is, but we missed 1 year because I don't know. We just couldn't get it together. But we had it a couple weeks ago and they had all the old yearbooks and scrapbooks. And looking through that was absolutely hilarious. But I think we
Were
have
you slapping your knee? Slapping your knee?
Is that what old people do? We slap our knee when things are funny? It's funny you say that because I have a student, like one of my kids, that says older people, especially, she says like older black men, when they laugh, they rub their knees.
That's what Daddy does. He does that. He's like, no, he does though. I've seen him.
I don't know. And it's just within the last couple of years he started doing it. But she said that, and I can't unsee it.
He's old.
I can't unsee it now. And also, Aunt Dana and I talk about Daddy and Uncle JJ. They cross their legs and shake their foot. Have you seen him do that?
Yeah, he does that in the bed.
Well, no, if you're sitting.
He's like,
And then they'll tap their foot. So there's something that happens when you cross over to 40 that
I don't know.
you just become your parents. It's like that insurance commercial where they turn into their parents. That's
Yeah.
literally what's happening. And I saw it yesterday, kind of when Graham comes over, I'm like, I'm going to be like that when I get older. Coming in, shutting the windows because
the
she's talking
windows.
about it's cold in here. And I'm burning up hot because we have the oven on cooking food for Easter or Thanksgiving. And she's like, you guys shut them windows because the food's going to get colder. You're going to get pneumonia. Or the baby doesn't have socks on. Why don't you have socks on your feet? You're going to catch cold.
no. If you have socks on baby's feet, then they're going to get hot.
I do wear socks to bed when I'm cold. I'll put socks on and it doesn't warm me up.
but when you wear socks when it's hot, you're like,
Too hot, too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's funny because I think as we get older, the things that we used to get on our parents about, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think it's happening. I think I've officially crossed over. As you touch my knee and just say, it's okay, mommy. I got that nonverbal. So I think, I think to your point about Maya can be annoying at times. Can JoJo also be annoying? Oh, so what does that look like in JoJo?
Oh, I have a lot.
Oh, wow. So only one thing for Maya. You only said was she's been saying,
No,
bruh.
there's still some things about Mai, but I can't pick it up right now because she's not here.
JoJo's not here either.
Oh, but, yeah.
But you just have a running list for
Yes,
JoJo?
in my brain.
Are there any that you can share?
So, yesterday, I was like, hey, I was gonna play, and she was like, I beat you to it, and I was like,
The eye roll, the side eye, and the sucking the teeth. That's all you said? Because I feel like if it was Maya, you would have had something else to say. Because
come on.
I guess because JoJo's scary, as you say, she gives you the look. So that's one thing. So you wanted to play the game. I heard you, and you'll say, I haven't played all day, and I don't get a chance to play, and they've been playing, and it's not fair. Anything else?
Have a lot.
Oh,
Can
wow.
I share 3 more?
Maybe. She's not here to defend herself. Don't tell her. Don't watch JoJo.
She probably doesn't. So, one time I came downstairs and she was playing Minecraft and I was like, "Can I play?" And she was like, "No."
Just all snarky.
Yeah.
So it wasn't very kind. Just very dismissive. Okay, so these two things that you shared have to do with video games. Do they all have to do with video games?
No.
Okay.
The next one is when I need to go to the restroom and she's taking 25 hours just to go to the bathroom and I'm like, "Come on, get out." When I'm trying to take a shower.
Oh, you're trying to take a shower. Y'all all do that as if there's only one shower in this house. But I get it. You're like, but all my stuff's in the bathroom.
Yes.
You know, I grew up with one bathroom. Daddy and I only had one bathroom in the entire house. Well, when we moved, we had a powder room, but the first house we lived in, well, the first house in Pineford near Aunt Florence, I think we did have two bathrooms and a powder room. Then we moved to this fixer-upper, one bathroom. You think JoJo takes a long time in the bathroom and Maya takes a long time? You see how long Pop takes in the bathroom. Can you imagine growing up and there's like no other bathroom to go? Yes, horrible. And then when we moved, then we had a powder room. But for y'all to be like, "Oh my gosh, I have to use the bathroom." There are how many showers in this house? 3 and 4 toilets. Y'all acting like y'all don't even understand. I had to walk 5 miles and 15 feet of snow to school. You ever hear that joke? Well, old people talk about, y'all don't know how hard it was when we grew up. We didn't even have internet. We didn't even have smartphones. Now I sound real old.
I could survive. I got books.
Y'all, so we have this recorded. Emma just said she could survive without a cell phone. Mind you, she doesn't have a cell phone. She has an iPad. But Emma says she can survive without the internet.
Take it.
We're going to do it. We're going to do an experiment. I'm going to record it and see how she does. You did say the one day when it gets nice outside, you're like, "I don't understand. I'm not like Maya. I'm not like a vampire. I want to be outside." So, okay. Point taken. So maybe y'all alpha generation are trying to get some of that old energy back and be outside and get that fresh air.
Friends, though.
Oh, so maybe this is something unique to Emma. Okay, we'll have to take a poll and see.
I've been here before, as you said.
We do know that. That is true. Someone actually said that yesterday. Emma's been here before. I can't remember who.
Oh, I know who it was. It was Uncle Mel and Kia.
They both said it? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely heard Kia say it for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to look at my list of questions here because when you brought up this topic, because it was so fresh and happening today, I was like, what kind of questions can we ask to just bring up some of the things that you're experiencing? So you told us what happened today. That was one of the questions, but here's, I think, a good question. What do you remember most about playing with Maya or JoJo when you were little?
I only remember Maya.
You only remember Maya. And the reason I'm asking you this because earlier you said you wanted to go back to that time. So what do you remember about that time and how old were you?
I was around 3, 4, 5-ish.
Okay.
I think. And we used to play tag, and that was around the time when we used to share a bunk bed.
Oh my goodness, yes, y'all did share a room. First, I think you had separate beds, and then you got the bunk beds.
Yeah, there's pictures of it.
Yes.
And we used to talk, and one time I farted and it smelled like rotten eggs and bacon.
Y'all, these are the things that you will experience. So if this doesn't dismiss raising girls, because I think most time people think boys are like this, but here we go. Emma's just sharing all her business with the world. We'll see if it makes the cut. I might edit it. My goodness, Emma. I remember y'all sharing a room and Maya being like, "She will not stop talking to me."
I thought she liked it. She kept on talking to me.
Oh, she kept on talking to you?
Yeah, I talked and then she kept talking to me.
But I think it was hard sometimes. She was trying to go to sleep. Maybe like this
I'm
sleep,
just like that.
you like to talk.
Yeah.
Kind of like the sleepover that you did at Uncle Keith's with Bella and Ariel. And what happened? What did Bella say to you?
You say it.
No, you say.
You
I
say
wasn't
it.
there.
Go back to sleep.
What time was it?
Like 10 something or like 11.
And you usually go to bed like 8:30, 9:30, usually maybe on the weekends. So you get super excited about sleeping over with your cousins. This was only the second time. And I think, yeah, we have talked about on the show about sleepovers and how I'm not a big fan of sleepovers with people I don't know. But family, if we're safe with them, then we can do that. So that was your first sleepover was with Bella and Ariel. So you and Bella are the same age, a couple months apart, a year apart. And Ariel's how old? Is she like 4 or 5? Okay. So that was super cool. And you get so excited about that. And I know when you get really excited, it's hard for you to sleep. Why do you get so excited about it?
Because I don't usually hang out with them that much.
And what's different between hanging out with them versus being at home with your sisters?
They understand me.
Oh, say more about that.
They understand me because they're young too.
Okay.
And they still have creative minds and
Ooh.
imaginativity.
Imagination. So they're creative and they have imagination. But Maya's creative.
Yeah, but like with games.
Oh, like playing your own games, making up games. So not a video game. Oh, and I think that is a beautiful thing because you've talked about this before. You said adults.
Yeah.
As she just does a raspberry, which you just did with your lips.
That's a raspberry?
I think that's what it's called. Like when you just, yeah, I think it's called a raspberry when you kind of like do that. I do that sometimes to relax my body. It's a good coping skill.
That's
But
what I did.
But you thinking about they're your age, they understand you, I think is really important. And I think that is the hard part of being the youngest. I mean, I can't speak to that. I've heard people say that and students I've worked with, and I've also seen it with you, that you feel misunderstood. But what I also see is, and this is what we talked about early on in the show, is that you were messing in your sister's makeup and face care products, and then your face was breaking out. And it must be hard being young and seeing your older siblings. So talk a little bit about that. Are you upset about anything else today with Maya? Because you were getting really upset. And what did you say?
I got upset because she doesn't want to hang out with me that much anymore.
And where did she go?
To see the new Minecraft movie.
And then that upset you? Why? Why did it upset you? Why are you just staring at me? You can say it. It's okay to cry. Why does that make you cry?
I just want to go back to how it used to be.
How did it used to be?
We used to play together.
You used to play together? So it upsets you that she left today, or it upsets you that she wasn't going to keep playing with you?
Both.
Both. That makes you really sad. Because now you don't have anyone to hang out with besides me and Daddy. And that can be really hard. Did she come back in and talk to you before she left?
No, she just said bye to me.
You seemed better before she left, though, but you got really upset and went to your room for a while. What were you doing in your room?
I was coloring on my iPad.
That helped you calm down?
Yeah.
You were frustrated, like not yelling or screaming, but you were just kind of making some noises because you were frustrated, but working through it. Did you draw a special picture or you just kind of draw anything?
Anything.
Do you ever write out how you feel?
No.
That might help too, but I think you found a way to color and you calmed yourself down and then you came back down when you were ready. But that makes you really sad. And I think for a lot of the people watching, they can probably relate to what you're going through. Maybe not even if they're the youngest. Talking to Aunt Gag, I wonder how she would feel because she was the youngest in the family and so much younger than Graham. But then also thinking about it doesn't matter where you are in the family. Like it can be really hard when you're in the family and you feel like no one understands you or no one respects your opinion or no one wants to hang out with you. So sometimes when you're in a house, you can even feel lonely when you're in a house full of people. And that's hard, right? And that makes you sad. And what is the thing that you said, though? You said that you want Maya to love you. You don't feel like she loves you?
Not that much. She doesn't show it.
So she doesn't show it. And what would it look like for her to show it to you?
Hug me.
Hug you? Because you said she doesn't like to give hugs. And it hurts your feelings. Do you ever hug her?
Yeah.
Does she hug you back? And that hurts your feelings. How else can she show you love?
I don't know.
That's a big one for you, though? Well, something else you're saying is spending time with you. So physical touch and quality time are two of your biggest love languages. It's something that you'll always say. You say, can we hang out now? But you'll say it to Daddy or me, and not so much with your sisters. So think about even the last couple of days, because there were glimpses of it where y'all were hanging out. Even the three of y'all were hanging out. How did that make you feel?
Happy.
Happy? Were you thinking about, oh, are they going to get mad at me, or am I going to do something? Were you thinking you're going to do something wrong that they would get upset with you, or were you just in the moment just excited to be with your sisters?
Both.
So you do think about that sometimes? You think, am I going to do something they're going to get mad at me? So what happens when you think that way?
I get mad at myself.
About what?
That I'm gonna do something wrong and they're not gonna hang out with me ever again.
You think that's true?
No.
But that's what your mind will tell you. Do you ever just get quiet or just get really tense because you're trying to not mess anything up?
I get quiet.
And that's not you. So then you're not being yourself because you don't want them to react or not play with you. And I think that's a really hard part about you wanting to fit in and belong. That what you're saying is, I can't be like myself in my own house with my siblings because I'm afraid that they're not going to want to hang out with me or play with me. So I'm pretending to be someone else or being a quieter version of myself. And that can be really painful and hurt your feelings. So then how can I help you when these things happen? Is there anything I can do?
I don't know.
Or your sisters, what can they do?
They can try to show me that they want to hang out with me, like ask me.
So you would like them to come and ask you to hang out? Mm-hmm. Do they ever do that?
No.
Are you always the one asking them?
Yes.
And that's frustrating. Because if you're always the one asking, then it doesn't necessarily make you feel like they want to hang out with you. So you would like them to come to you and ask you to hang out. That would make you feel loved. Mm-hmm. Hugs make you feel loved. Quality time makes you feel loved. What else could they do to show you that they love you?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But those are two big ones.
Maybe. I don't know what else.
But that would help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking about all that you're experiencing, all that you're feeling, all that you have felt, like what do you think our listeners and our viewers, what would you want them to know? What's your chicken nugget wisdom to let them know how they can best support people like you who are the youngest in the family?
I would say to people that want to best support the youngest people in their family, I would say that you need to spend time with them and act like you actually know them
And how would you show that you actually know them?
by asking to hang out and including them in things and talking to them.
That's really important, right? It makes you feel less alone, like you're a part of the family, because you're a part of the family. But I think sometimes, and I was on a webinar today with Dr. Charles Barrett for our State Association of School Psychologists, and we were talking about differences and where you fit in maybe in the family. And then my colleague Ronnie Gilbert was like, even if you're younger, so in school systems, there are still systems in place that kind of keep you down as a youth because they feel like you need to stay in a child's place. You know how we talked about that before in the show? But you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of things to say. But I think adults often want to keep you down. And you're saying, but I have an opinion too. I have things to say too. I want to be included, or I want to do this thing, or I don't like this and I like this and I should be included, instead of just shutting me down because that hurts my feelings because you're a human too. I think that's really, really, really important. That's really good advice.
Oh, I know another thing that JoJo said that made me sad. I said, am I being annoying? And she said, yes.
So why did you ask the question that you were being annoying?
Because I thought I was.
What made you think that?
Because the way that JoJo looked.
The face she made, and you're really
Yeah.
sensitive to people's facial expressions and their bodies. I think that's a real gift of yours, that you are really attuned to that. But then that confirmed it for you. How did that make you feel when she said yes?
Sad.
It hurt your feelings. Because I think, is that something that you think about? Like you're always worried you're going to be annoying? Do you think you get that message multiple times, even if people don't say it? You just feel that
I just feel that.
in the house? So then we have to do a better job of making sure that you don't feel that way, because that's a horrible way to feel. You're just being you, and you're being 10. And you have tons of energy, and you're creative, and you have all these different things that you want to do. Because I can see the thought in your brain, and you're like, next thing you know, you're running and grabbing something from your room, or you're cutting up paper, you're gluing something, or you're coloring something. And I think that's a really special gift. But I think we talked about this, because adults, people get busy, or older people, we look at that as being silly or childish. But guess what? You're 10. You should be experiencing that, and we should welcome that. Because what we're going to start doing is, if we keep saying that it's annoying, or you get the message that it's annoying, you'll stop doing the things that you love to do. And that makes you you. And we need that you in the world, not the quiet, dim light version of you that you're starting to show because you feel like you're being annoying, or people don't want to be around you. So we want to encourage you and encourage young people like you, or just encourage anyone that's feeling like they can't be themselves. There's something that Marianne Williamson says, and she's kind of like a spiritual leader, and she talks about you're not doing anyone any favors by dimming your light. We think that, well, keeping the peace in the house, or they won't say, maybe they'll like me now, or maybe they'll hang out with me now. But you're not even being your true self. If you can't be who you are in this house, how can you be who you are out in the world? But it also makes me think how you really talk about your friends, and you really love your friends. And you said you can be yourself with your friends. So that does make me think that when you're with your friends, they truly see you and they get you because they're your age, that you can be yourself. And that's why you love being around them. I think maybe that was a part of why it was hard today, because Maya went with her friend. And you know that when you're with your friends, you can be yourself. And because you're at an age where, your friends don't drive, or we can't just be like, oh, let's just go over Bryn's house. But that's something we can work on. We can set up play dates. So there's things that we can do that you're 10 now, you're double digits, that make you feel more independent, so that you can be around your friends more, because you're definitely at the age now where you want to socialize and hang out with your friends. You're just in a really hard spot in your age where you can't just go off and drive off yet. You have 6 more years for that, which I can't believe it's going to go by so fast. So what is one of the things that I always tell you though when you're trying to grow up really fast? What did I say?
You should spend as much time as you are as a kid.
Yeah, because I mean, it's such a great gift because you have to grow up and you got to do adult things that you talked about. And I think we need to, as adults, do more of what you bring to the world. We need to bring more of that in and not get frustrated or, oh my gosh, I'm too tired to do this thing, because that makes us come alive too. And it kind of is going back. What I talk about is like reclaiming our childhood, going back, because we all had moments like you're experiencing when we were young, and it doesn't make it right. But I think those are the things from what you're saying. And I hope what our listeners are hearing is how it makes you shrink, how it dims your light, how it makes you really sad, and that lives in you, and it can change who you are as a person. And there's so much awesomeness about you that we're trying to keep intact, and that you can be confident that you can be yourself in all your spaces, especially at home. If you can't be yourself at home, then we have to really make some shifts. And I know there's things like everyone's like, oh, that's just how your siblings are. It doesn't make it right though, right? It still hurts. It's still unfair. So we got to do a better job of making sure you feel included. And they have to do a better job of showing you that they love you. Because I know they do. Remember you were in the hospital and they were all worried and scared? So they definitely love you. It's just they sometimes struggle to show it. But that would really help you a lot to feel included in the family. But I think it was really brave of you to want to talk about this today with all these strangers out here so they could get a better perspective of what it's like being a 10-year-old or being the youngest sibling in a house. And I bet you a lot of our viewers and our listeners can completely relate to what you're experiencing, even if they're 44 or 64 or 84, because they've been there. So it lets you know that you're not alone. It lets you know that there are people rooting for you and cheering for you. So I hope viewers, listeners, that you will encourage little Emma, because she was being really courageous today and she wanted to talk about this with y'all so that you could get some insight about what she experiences every day growing up as the youngest sibling. So I hope you take her wisdom and you really make sure what were the 2 things you said? What do you want us to do a better job of as for young people?
Include young people in things, and make sure you show that you love them.
Those are really important. So include them would mean that we have to listen to what you like and what you don't like and listen to your perspective. And sometimes that takes patience. It takes more time because you're trying to find the words or you're trying to figure it out, or maybe we don't understand, but we have to spend that time. And what that is teaching us is that doing things that they like or you like, that we have to learn what you like. We can't just say, you're going to do this because you're a kid. You have an opinion and you have likes and dislikes, and we have to honor that because you're a whole person. So thank you so much, Emma, for sharing with us today, even though that was hard. But what I hope is that you talking about it and thinking about it can help you to work on what you need to do to make sure that you can be yourself, how you can heal, and that you can't hold that in your body, and that you know that who you are is more than enough, that you were divinely made the way that you were made, and changing yourself for anyone doesn't do anyone any favors. You stay who you are. Who you are is more than enough. It's exactly what this world needs. And when you start changing yourself, then the world's going to miss out on your dopeness. That's a phrase that we said when we were young, because you're dope. What would y'all call that? What's your alpha generation term for dope?
Cool.
Really? I feel like we said cool too. Is it coming back around again?
A lot of things from your time are coming back around.
So, I mean, you're cool, but you're cool. So you're double cool. And the minute that you're trying to be someone that you're not, go back to being cool Emma. That's what we need in this world. And you can let your sisters know, like, who I am is more than enough. Like, I'm dope, I'm cool, I'm all the things. I'm not going to change for anyone. I'm going to be me. I love you, kid. I'm super proud of you.
Oh.
Thank you for sharing your heart today with us and giving us some ways that we can be better and show up for our young people. Thank y'all. Bye.
Okay, so I just wanted to take a breath with you after that one. Whew. So Emma spoke from a place so many of us can remember, whether it was feeling ignored at the dinner table, trying to shrink ourselves to keep the peace, or really wondering if we even mattered as much as everyone else around us. And the truth is, these childhood dynamics, they don't always stay in childhood. They echo, they shape how we see ourselves presently, how we relate to one another, how we love, and how we show up in relationships. And Emma said something, right, that stuck with me. They don't show me they love me. And when I asked what love looked like, she said a hug, asked me to play. Y'all, that's so simple, but we overcomplicate it. And that's a whole sermon. So here is the invitation I want us to walk away with this week. Get curious about the spaces in our families where love had gone unspoken. Where have we assumed someone knew we cared, but never said it out loud? Where have we waited to be invited in when what we really needed was to feel chosen without asking? And whether you're the youngest sibling waiting to be included, the middle feeling invisible, or the oldest trying to hold it all together, this is your reminder that love is not just a feeling, it's a practice. So this week, I invite you to practice love out loud. Say the thing, send the text, offer the hug, make the ask, because sometimes the most liberating thing we can do is to go first. So as always, thank you for witnessing this with us, being a part of our community. And thank you to Emma for being brave enough to say the thing most adults still carry inside. Emma, you are more than enough, just as you are. So community, if this resonated with you, we would love to hear from you. We would also love your love for Emma as she wanted to share something deeply personal. We didn't know where it was going to go, but the tears are raw and authentic and very true to her being attuned to her body. So again, if this related to an experience that you have, or it helped you navigating hard conversations, please send some comments, send some love, subscribe to our YouTube, our Substack, or listen wherever you receive your podcast. Please leave a review. And as always, please continue to do the deep and meaningful work of discovering your truth, discerning your path, and determining your power. Until next time, take care.